Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Heart Next Door podcast. If you are here, you're home. I'm your host, Tarani, and today I have a gorgeous, phenomenal guest that I'm excited to be able to just get to know her better and dive into all that she is and all that she does a little bit more. As you guys know, this season we are talking about maternal health and family wellness, and so this guest is a mom. I know that for sure. I also know she's a powerhouse, and I'm excited to learn more about her together. So welcome, Malika Majesty.
Thank you so much. Oh, it means so much coming from you. So gorgeous, mashallah, everything. So my name is Malika. I do a lot of things. I wear a lot of hats. I'm an herbalist. I started off as like a crystal healer. A lot of different things, and I converted to Islam, so I left a lot of parts, I feel, of my identity behind. So I'm just kind of regathering, like, okay, what parts of me can I take into, you know, this newfound life as a Muslim woman and all this. But the herbalism has stuck with me. I create herbal products for women. I'm a crystal healer, so I learned a lot about the science behind crystals and all of that. Still navigating kind of how the Muslim community feels about that. It's a little woo-woo, little witchy for them. But yes, I'm a mom first. That's, you know,
How many babies do you have? Two, right?
I have two, I have a 3-year-old girl, and then I have a son who's almost one. Yeah.
Wow, yeah. So we're almost like in the same with the kids. I told you, like, my son, he just turned 4 on August 20th. And then my daughter, she just turned 1 in July.
Oh my gosh, yeah, so same ages.
Yeah,
same
right?
girl. It's a lot.
It's a whole lot. Yes, it is a lot. Wow, I love it. I had no idea that you were an herbalist and crystals. I love all of that. Can you talk about, like, has that always been a part of you, or how did you get it really?
Yeah.
Okay, tell us more. Like, you just grew up and were exposed to it. How did that happen for you? Because I know for me, that's something that I feel like I didn't really get into that space, especially the healing space. One of my favorite books, I always talk about it, is Sacred Woman.
I love that book. I love Queen Afua. She's amazing.
Yes, I love you. So so that book for sure changed my life. But I really didn't pick up that book until maybe the last like 5 years, and I feel like I had this whole awakening. But so I'm curious, like, obviously you said that's been a part of you for a while. So how did that happen?
Well, my grandma and like all her sisters, like my great aunties, they've always been like psychic, medium-y type ladies. And just from a young age, I was like, I knew about like my zodiac signs and like the light stuff like that. But I always kind of had an affinity to like the spirituality side of everything. I always had those kind of gifts as a kid, as many of us do. So and I just kind of took it and embraced it. I used to work as like a tarot reader for many years of my life, and had a business, a really successful business, mashallah, based around kind of that, like the velas, the 7-day candles, all that, like very, very deep into the spiritual side of things. And then literally, like, God just took me away from a lot of those things. So I'm trying to navigate, like, okay, where does God want me? Like, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I know that's something that like a lot of us can relate to, is like trying to figure out, you know, especially where we fit and what our purpose is. And so you mentioned that a little bit, like you're converting to Islam. Can you talk more about like how did that come about?
Yeah, so I was raised Christian. I was raised like in a Christian school, all that. I always had like a close connection to God. But I remember like praying to God. I was like, God, please, I want to get close to you. I just had a random wave of it. And then literally like 2 weeks later, I read the Quran. I literally just read the Quran. That's my story.
Are you serious?
That's it. I read the English Quran, took my Shahada by myself.
What?
It was just like, yeah, I'm Muslim. This is the truth.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, girl.
Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing.
Alhamdulillah. It's beautiful.
Yeah, that is really beautiful. And so I know another thing that you do that I kind of tapped into online is your podcast, which I love, called The Queen Mentality. And so can you talk about how motherhood has shaped your voice and your vision, especially as it relates to your podcast? Like, tell us about that.
Yeah, so I love talking.
Yeah.
And I've always like recorded myself since I was young, and I think like podcasts are just in right now. You know what I mean? Like, and I love long form content. I think it's beautiful to put it on in the background. I personally listen to podcasts when I'm doing the dishes, and, you know, driving, whatever. And I just thought it would be a good opportunity to kind of tell my story, give advice to women, and have my friends on, like amplify other people's stories and talk about issues that I feel like need to be talked about. And it's in, you know, it's a little seedling right now.
Yeah.
I haven't done much with it, but it's a good hobby for me right now. And inshallah it grows. Inshallah yours grows too. Like may Allah bless them, allow us to prosper.
Yes, amen, for sure. And I love that. Especially I feel like you touched on something, like a reason why I started podcasting too is I think about like our stories, you know, and just how sometimes like this platform specifically started after I had my daughter and had like a very traumatic birth. And I just felt so alone in a lot of ways. And when I was looking on the internet and everywhere, social media, trying to find someone who had like the same experience as me, and I couldn't, you know, so it's just like I really feel, and I remember very distinctly, I heard God tell me, like, tell your story, that's why you're still here, you know? And so that's when I started doing this podcast, like, very heavily, just, like, wanting to talk about maternal health and just, like, sharing my story about, like, the experience that I had. But it's been so beautiful just to listen to other people, right? Because I feel like when we don't share our stories, it's easy to feel like you're alone, you know?
Absolutely.
But when you do, it's really amazing. So I love that you have a platform for that reason
you
too.
do too, mashallah, because that's so important. Like I feel like women, we need that. We need community. We need to see ourselves in other women, and I think that's so healing to know that other people go through this and someone else went through this. It helps you not feel so alone.
For sure,
you know,
for sure. Yes, for sure. And so, as a mom of two, what has motherhood taught you about grace, patience, and purpose?
I mean, it is our purpose, you know? God gave us these babies. He made us a mom, and he sees it all. He knows it all. So he trusted us. It's a trust. It's an amana. That's what we say.
Amana.
Yeah, it means like a trust from Allah. Like it's your responsibility. My friend actually named her daughter Amana. I think it's a beautiful name. Yeah, mashallah. But yeah, it's a trust. You know, it's like we're their mom. You have no choice. I mean, there's no going back. There's no going back. There's no going back. It's like that's your life now. You have to give up so many parts of yourself. You have to give up so much self-care, so much time, everything. SubhanAllah. So it's like you just do it,
right?
You know, especially with two kids. Like one kid's kind of it's hard. It's hard, but then like two kids is harder.
Listen.
SubhanAllah.
Listen.
So, you know, you just roll with the punches. You gotta roll with the punches. It'll get easier hopefully in the future, inshallah, when they're older and they can, you know, do everything themselves. But, you know, it's really just self-sacrifice. You have to learn, you know, not to be as, you have to learn selflessness.
Yeah, for sure. But I think I'm really curious to hear about your perspective, because I do feel like motherhood is a lot about sacrifice. But then also, I feel like I almost hit a wall, because after I had my son, I feel like I went through postpartum like really, really hard, because I was just like giving to him, like to my husband, just like taking care of everybody else. And I was like,
It'll make you crazy.
Right? Like just in survival mode. So I'm curious, especially now as a mom of two, is that something that you've experienced on your journey? And like, how do you, because I found, at least for me, I have to be intentional about like finding even little ways to pour into myself, because I'm a better mom and a better person, period, for everybody when I have my own cup full, you know? So I'm curious, is that something that you feel like, have you found ways to still prioritize yourself too? And what does that look like for you now as a mom of two?
I think just taking the time for yourself and having someone who helps you with the kids. You need help. They say it takes a village. We don't live in that village mentality here in America at all. But that's why, you know, our grandmas, great grandmas, and all these people in different countries, they can have so many kids because it's everyone taking care of the kids. Here in America, it's like you're the mom and you're taking care of everyone. You're taking care of your kids. You're taking care of your husband, and you have no help. SubhanAllah, that's not how we're supposed to do it. Like, you know, when you have a village, it's like the older kids are taking care, the aunties are taking care, and all that pressure is off you as a mom. But when it's just you, SubhanAllah, you're gonna go crazy. I mean, I've gone crazy. I've gone through postpartum. SubhanAllah. It's too much. You need help. You need someone who's watching the kids for you. And, you know, I have their dad steps up, and I'm sure, like, you know, their dad steps up too. And you need that help. You need that help, and even if it's just, you know, them going down for a nap and you doing what you have to do, but it's like when they go down for a nap, you have to eat, you have to shower.
Yes.
It's hard when they're young.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, for sure.
So yeah, I don't even have the answers to that, because I did it alone. You know what I mean? I did it alone. I did it without help. Especially with my daughter. I mean, it was just me. My husband was over the road. It's just me and a baby alone.
Wow.
And so I've been through postpartum. I understand that. I understand how hard it is when you don't have as much help as maybe like other women had. You know?
Yeah, for sure. I get that. And so, like, what do you wish, like, having experienced that? Because I also feel like there's a lot of people maybe who've never experienced motherhood, or like people may look at moms on the outside and say, oh, like, why don't you just get help? Or like, why don't, you know, like, you can do it if they haven't experienced it, right? So like, what are some things that you wish people knew in terms of like how they can better support moms?
I think just helping, just being around your mom, like if you have a friend who's a mom or anything, like just being around her with the kids, because no one can feel that stress. Like, you know, when your kid's crying or your toddler's freaking out, no one can feel that stress except for the mom. We feel it in our physical bodies when our kids are having a tantrum or crying, because that's, you know, how it's designed. Like, we're their mom. We're intuitively connected to them. So we can feel everything they're going through. No one can feel that stress. So even just going with your friend to the park, even just going out with them and like maybe taking the toddler over there to look at something, that helps so much. Like having friends that are just around, having someone else there makes you feel less like alone, you know? And also, I mean, it's hard because it's like, yeah, people say, oh, get help. But then how many times have we seen the story of like someone has like a nanny coming around all the time and the kid's calling them mama and saying, take me in. I don't want that. Like, and that's the price you pay for being there for your kids. And I'm glad for that. I'll go through the stress. I'll go through, you know, feeling like I'm crazy. But at least my kids always had their mom with them. And
that's true.
And it's something beautiful. It's something to be very proud of.
You know, for sure.
We did that.
For sure.
We did that.
Right?
We did that.
We're doing it, that's so true. That reminds me of a quote like I read recently. It was like, they don't need a perfect mom, just a present mom. You know?
Yeah.
I think, at least for me, as someone who before motherhood, like, just was a perfectionist so bad, like I wanted everything to be perfect. I feel like motherhood has really challenged me in that way, because you can't survive, like, it's not going to be perfect. Listen, it's not, like, if you try to make everything perfect, you're going to lose your mind. It's not going to happen, especially with 2 kids, you know, it's not going to happen. So I think when we take that pressure off ourselves, it really helps a lot. And I would love to hear, especially like being so in tune with spirituality through different ways, like of course with your new faith, but then like speaking about your former experience, like with crystals and tarots, even though you're trying to figure out how that fits into your new faith, have any of those practices like informed how you handle stress as a mom? Like, do you feel like having those experiences and those resources help you a little bit more? Or like, are there any practices that you use to kind of help you stay at peace or grounded?
I think praying, like I'm all for like giving it to God, but also like leaning on like herbs, because God, I really think that that's the most primal natural medicine we have, is like, you know, herbs. That's what our ancestors used. That's what was put on this earth for us, not, you know, other medications and all this stuff. I mean, I could go into that, but that's a very different topic. But you know, having herbs, like, I mean, kava and reishi, those are 2 herbs that really got me through
that,
stress.
please. Tell us about it.
So I just would make like a big thing of tea, like a big jar. Kava and reishi mushroom. Reishi is so grounding. Kava kind of relieves stress. And that's in one of my products. It's like my best sellers. It's my like kava cacao. It's more of like a hot cocoa mix. Cacao is in it, but even just the tea, just the kava and reishi, those are 2 herbs that have helped me through so much stress in my life. And just, you know, leaning on these natural herbs that we have. Ashwagandha too, that helps, especially with postpartum, like the mood swings and everything. Yeah, you know, just healing yourself with herbs. I think that helps with taking some of like the physical edge off. You know? But of course praying, of course having like a spiritual community and having people support you in that way helps. Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay, so we gotta, Because like for someone who doesn't know anything about herbs at all, like the herbs that you just described are like new to them. Especially, for example, I've heard of ashwagandha, but not in, you know, some people make it seem like woo woo or like bad. And so for somebody who like may not know how to embrace those things, because it's not something that traditional culture like pushes us to, even though like you said that is, you know, a part of where we come from and what we need. What are some things you would say to kind of help people to realize that it's something that you should embrace, but like also tell us, how do we know like where to start, you know, like if we want to get more into herbs, like where would somebody go? How do they know like what herbs are good for them and whatnot?
I think reading, like, I mean, you have to like, you know, seek out knowledge, and knowledge is the best thing you could ever seek. And you know, I've done extensive research. I have family that are herbalists though, so I feel like I was around it and like was learning about it from a really young age. But just like dipping your toe into holistic health, realizing kind of the system that we're living in, what they don't want you to know. Like, oh my gosh. You know, I think just like reading on it and just experimenting for yourself. Like, I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. I mean, drinking is so normalized here.
For real, it's no seriously.
That kills the spirit, you know. Alcohol. I mean, it literally means kill soul.
What?
Yeah. What? So, you know, I mean, there's all these things in society. I mean, eating a pack of hot chips, like that has red 40 in it. It has all these like, and these like plugins from Bath and Body Works, they have hormone disruptors in it. So it's like, how are you going to demonize natural herbs from the earth that do nothing but good for the body? And like, you know, it's important to have knowledge, because like with kava, for example, you can't overuse certain herbs. But like mushrooms, not those type of mushrooms, but like, you know, like reishi, lion's mane, like these are all used in traditional medicine in China, like just super ancient in all these cultures. Like cacao, kava is from the Polynesian islands. Like people have been using it for so long. Like these are, like we have to go to our roots. You have to go to our roots to see what they've been doing, because all this new stuff that this country and all these agendas want to push on us, that's not it. We need to look at what real medicine is.
For sure. I love that you shared that, because literally the last guest that we had, she has a birth center, so we were talking about that like from a maternal health lens, like even just the way, looking at the way we have babies here in the US compared to other, and she was just breaking down like even the distinction that we don't talk about or nobody knows about, like just between the word like obstetrician and like what that means, like obstruct, like OBs are literally trained surgeons like to do surgery and intervene, while midwives, like the natural way, midwifery is all about like, you know, the natural way the babies were born, right? But it's just like nobody tells you that. Like in this country and just in our society in general, it's just like we push things and often don't really know why, the reason behind it. Like you said, like it's so important to do your research. So I love that you shared that.
It's important to understand, you know, who's there for your real healing and for the right reasons, and who's there to make money. You know, and a lot of these systems are set up to make money. And midwives, I'm all for it. I had midwives for both of my kids. I had my daughter like completely naturally.
Wow.
I seriously don't. SubhanAllah. Yeah,
but that's what your body was made for, right? Like that's what women do around the world every day. So I think that's beautiful. And so what do you believe women and mothers need most right now to thrive spiritually, emotionally, and collectively?
I think we need each other. I think we need to be there for each other. And, you know, we are the people that understand each other. Like, no one else really understands that, what it's like to go through that. Like I was saying earlier, like, you know, only we can feel that stress and that heaviness and that responsibility. And also our kids are going to all be the next generation. So we all need to just kind of support each other, be there for each other in whatever way that is, you know, just be good sisters to each other.
I love that. Community. Yeah, for sure. That's what it's all about. Okay, and then wrapping up, I just have one big question for you, and then I'm going to let you share where everyone can connect with you and, of course, get all of your products. But one thing that we talk a lot, especially on my platform, about is legacy. And so I would love to know, what does that mean for you, especially as a mom, when you think about, you know, your businesses and just who you are, who you embody, Malika Majesty. What does that mean to you?
So, you know, my born name is not Malika, it's Delaney. And I got a tattoo when I was going through postpartum with my daughter, and it's Malika, which means queen in Arabic. And, you know, I've been through a lot of things in my life, and a lot of the times I did not feel like a queen at all. And I think that women, when we come into that and we realize like how high of a status God has given us on this earth, that's when we realize we all are queens. We all should be held to that status. We should not be held down by society, by men, by anything. Like we need to recognize ourselves and our true power, and you know what we need to do on this earth, which is, you know, raise up the next generation and leave a legacy. We are the ones who build a legacy. No one would be here if it wasn't for us. So, you know, I kind of chose that because, you know, that's what I want to give other women. I want all women to know who they are. I want all women to know that they are queens, that you are powerful. You deserve to be treated like royalty. You deserve to be held up, you know, put that crown on. Sit up. Like, you know, don't let anyone treat you badly. Yeah, and you know, that's kind of the legacy I want to, you know, pass on. I want my daughter to have all this knowledge. I want her to, you know, take over my company someday, inshallah. I want her to learn all these things and, you know, empower other women, because that's my whole brand. That's what I started it for, is women like myself who have been through certain things. I don't know, you know, if I'll ever talk about everything. I probably will someday, but you know, just women empowerment. I want to empower women. I want women to feel better about themselves after meeting me, and I try to do that. Everyone who comes in my path, I try to elevate them, help them, even if it's something small. You know.
And I can let you know that you do that, because even before, like I told you, even before we met, and we're just, after we were introduced over email, and then even just texting, like every time, like your energy is something that I wanted to, you know, be around and bring into this space. And so I'm thankful. Yeah, you do. You definitely do embody that and radiate that. So thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. Okay, so now tell everyone, where can they connect with you and get your products?
So I'm working on making a website. I'm mostly in person, because that's something I really cared about. Is like connecting with people in my community, like making real in-person connections. So I kind of took a break from the socials for a while, but now I'm getting back into making content. So you can follow me on Instagram and TikTok on my personal at Malika Majesty. I just do, you know, photos, and I make content for local businesses. And then my products are at Queens Rise Co. on Instagram. That's where you can find all my herbalism stuff. And I do make a lot of products for women who are getting over postpartum. I make a moontime tea that's for PMS symptoms and menopause. It's like a hormone balancing herbal tea. And then I make yoni steams, of course, organic yoni steams.
I love
and I try to spread that knowledge to a lot of women. I also have yoni pearls. Those are a little deeper, but I'm sure if you're you know, Queen Afua, you know, yoni pearls are the girl.
Yes, but you have to break it down, because some people listening may not know about like yonis. I only had one yoni steam before, but it was it was after I had a miscarriage, and I just wanted to like, and it was a beautiful like healing experience. So can you tell people about like that yoni steams and yoni pearls?
So yoni steaming, yoni is just a Sanskrit word for vagina. I don't know what monetization, okay. But you know, a vaginal steam, a herbal vaginal steam. So it's basically just herbs and hot water, and the steam from those herbs is very healing to the womb. It also helps to connect with that space as women, you know, because there's so many traumatic things that women can go through in their life, and connecting with that space and reclaiming it in whatever way you can, that's very sacred. It's very beautiful. That's where life starts. SubhanAllah. The womb is so deep. It holds so much sacred energy. So just taking care of that space. I also have like yoni wands and stuff like that, and I try to be an advocate for women who are victims of sexual violence and, you know, bring that to the Muslim community, because I feel like it's very hush hush. Like, not a lot of people really talk about women's sexuality or women's health, and it needs to be talked about.
For
so
sure,
I'm
for
kind of
sure.
a pioneer in that space.
Yeah.
Because I know a lot of women who are in like the birth space. A lot of my friends are like midwives in Detroit, and like they're in this kind of like community, and, you know, connected with that. But I'm kind of on the a little more like spiritual side of it, you know. But yeah, yoni steaming is really great for getting rid of cramps too, even if you're just like on your period. That's what I use it for. And it's like my personal recipe that I've been using for like 10 years.
Wow.
Like, and it's just something that I really wanted to share with women. Like, this is so necessary for our self-care. Like, we can take bubble baths all day, we can do face masks all day, but it's like our hormones, our vaginal health, that's something that we need to focus on too.
For sure.
Can't neglect that part of self-care.
Not at all, for sure. Yep. So now everybody knows where to get their yoni steams from, their herbs from, everything. And so thank you so much for coming on the platform and just sharing your wisdom and your light with us. And thank you all for listening. We'll see you next time on the Heart Next Door.